Hi, welcome back to DeTech Theory's Introduction to Computer Science course. I'm Bronwyn, and today for Lesson 6, we will be talking about accepting user input in a program. So what is accepting input? Well, if we want our programs to do calculations or process data specific to certain circumstances, it is often useful to incorporate user input. This allows us to type into the output terminal. The data inputted can then be processed in the program. To accept user input, we need to use a scanner. A scanner is exactly what it sounds like, a tool that scans the user input and implements it into the program. Because scanners are not inherent to the main class, we must first import the scanner class, as shown by the first line. The syntax import.java.util.whatever class you want to import is used to import all sorts of packages and classes in Java. To instantiate a new scanner, use the same format as for other objects. So data type, reference name is assigned to new scanner with parameter system.in. System.in essentially connects the keyboard as the input source. We can then call scanner methods on the scanner object we created. In this program, we have called it scan. So let's go over a couple of scanner methods. The first one is the next method, which scans and collects the first token inputted as a string, just the first one. The next line method scans and collects the entire next line and stores it as a string. The next double method scans and collects the next token as a double. Next int scans and collects the next token as an int. And next Boolean scans and collects the next token as a Boolean. Remember, these methods will not store the values, however, they will temporarily retrieve them and allow you to store them into a new variable. We call scanner methods the same way we call normal methods. However, they are usually written after a print statement with instructions as to what the user should input. Now think of the right side as the terminal. The program will output what is in the print statement, then it will wait for a response because of the scanner methods on the following line. So let's click run. So when we click run, the program first outputs the phrase enter a number. I could then type a number into the terminal, for example, 45. We can see on the left that the program stores this value in the int variable num. The program then prints this next print statement, enter a word. The user could then type into the terminal. In this case, I might type hello. The program on the left shows that this string is stored in the string variable s by use of the next method. Then the program outputs enter true or false. In this case, I decided to type in false. The text is scanned as a Boolean because of the method next Boolean, it is stored in the Boolean variable truth. Then the program prints all of the variables. So it's important to note that the next method only consumes the next fragment, while next line consumes the entire next line. Because the next line method receives the entire line, it can cause issues, often in loops, which we will cover later, where one next line call will not allow for user input in future uses, and instead skip to the next print statement. So let's look at the expected versus actual. If we run the program as is, our expected values will be Alice 27, Woo 5.4. But instead, because we use a next int method in between our uses of next line, our program will not allow us to enter our last name for Alice. So what we're going to do is insert the scan.nextLine, which with no corresponding assignment. And we will use that right after we use the next int method. And this it's just a hack that will basically reset the system and it'll allow it to work for you. You're gonna have to play around with using this kind of hack because it can be complicated and it doesn't work in all cases, but make sure you review the slide if you need to. And this will allow us to receive the expected output. So yeah, all you need to remember is the change we added, which is the addition of the extra next line method, if need be. Okay, so we're going to do a little quick practice here, just to practice using the different methods in the scanner class. So to start off, we have a couple of variables. We have an int num, double dub, string s, and a scanner. The program will print out user input here, and then based off of the following user input, we're going to try to predict what will be stored in the variable. So if the user inputs 2.3 and the call scan.nextDouble is stored in dub, scan.nextDouble receives the next value. In this case, 2.3. So 2.3 will be stored in dub. For question 2, the user inputs hello world, and the call scan.next is stored in s. Scan.next receives the next fragment, in this case, just hello, as the space cues the end of the fragment. Therefore, hello is stored in s. For our next example, the user inputs goodnight world, and the call scan.nextLine is stored in s. Scan.nextLine receives the entire next line, and in this case, that's goodnight world. The enter key indicates the end of this fragment. Therefore, goodnight world is stored in s. And for our final example, the user inputs 5 and the call scan.nextDouble is stored in dub. Scan.nextDouble receives the next value as a double. Because int values are automatically converted to doubles in a widening conversion, the value 5.0 is stored in dub, not 5.0. Okay, and finally, we're going to do a quick challenge problem. So our question is, what is the output of the following program? So first, you can see we have imported the scanner class on line 1. We have also instantiated a scanner object and a Boolean object on lines 4 and 5. On line 6, the statement enter yes or no is printed. In the if statement, the scanner scans the user input and analyzes it. If the value is yes, B is assigned true, else it is assigned false. Then B is printed. So we are told that the user input is yes. So go ahead and try this problem. Make your guess. You can pause the video here. So if you guessed that the output of the following program was true based off of this user input, then you were correct. So that is all that we are going to cover in today's lesson. I hope you learned something today, and we will see you next time.